I remember when we used to go home from school every night, and our job was to go into the Anderson shelter,
Yes.
and with buckets, we used to bail out the water that had accumulated over the previous 24 hours, and then the whole family would get in there at night. On one particular night, you may remember, we were all sitting in there while the bombs were falling and the shells were exploding. And Dad decided to put his head outside to see what was going on.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, that was
And as he did, so I should imagine it was about 6 inches piece of shrapnel came down, and we don't know how close it was, obviously it was dark, but it was very, very close, and we found it outside. He never put his head outside.
It was very hot.
Yeah. Yes, it was hot, that's right, it was still
Anti-aircraft shell.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Remember those nose cones that used to come?
Oh,
around?
yes.
Brass nose cones from the anti-aircraft shells?
We used to get up
Used
early
to
in the
collect
morning
those.
to go and look for them.
Yeah.
And that was the prize. To find a nose cone was the prize.
Yes.
Shrapnel was
No.
to a penny, but to find those.
You had to stay in a shelter every night?
During the blitzes,
Oh, yes.
we did.
Yeah.
Night after night after night.
And then if it rained during the raid, which it did quite often, the pit would start filling up with water, so you have to start bailing out while you were still in the shelter, throwing the water out, or else
Yeah.
you'd be
Did
standing
anything
in
ever
water.
happen to your home?
Oh, yes.
Yes, one was badly damaged in Wallasey.
Wallasey was damaged.
We had a barrage balloon come down
Ripped the
on
whole
top of
house
it.
out.
A barrage balloon is, God, several times the size of this room. Wouldn't you think so?
Oh, yes, yeah.
And it settled on top of the house, and it did a lot of damage to the roof and so forth.
See, they used to have these anti-aircraft guns going around the streets, mobile anti-aircraft guns, and the balloons also, some of them were mobile.
Yes. Balloons, they were up to, if ever the bombers came down to try to strap, then their wings would be caught in the wires, you see.
To keep them high, to
Yeah,
save.
keep them high.
Keep them up.
Yeah.
Keep them up,
Usually up about 1,000 feet,
Yes.
not
Yeah.
more than 1,000
Yeah.
feet. So
Was
they
it
didn't
a
come
house?
around rolling machine gun everybody to the ground.
A house a little further down our road
Yes.
was
The
hit
man
by
was
a
killed.
bomb.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was killed sitting in his chair. The house collapsed on top of it.
And then we were evacuated out to Morecambe.
Yes,
Was
that's
the
true.
roof.
But I was evacuated from Wallasey.
Yes, so
Yeah.
perhaps
And
we
you
went
went
to
to
Morecambe and you were.
Very briefly, I went to Rill,
Did you?
and I cried for 4 days and came back home. Mother came and got me. It was not a happy experience.
I was lucky, I had a wonderful family.
Yes, you were. And Olive was too.
Yeah.
In
Olive Hodge
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. She had a fine family to go to.
still keeps in touch
How
with
long
you.
did it go
Yeah. Golly, I
Rest
would
of the
say,
war, 3 years?
no, it was about that, I would say. 2 years anyway.
Yes.
He was a little,
Yes.
you're allowed.
I was like 12,
Yeah.
yeah.
You were quite young. Is that awful? Mothers had to send their children away?
Yes.
So Olive went,
They all-
Bob went,
they all
I
went.
went, you were in the forces, Dick was in the forces.
And what was
Ultimately.
really, yeah, and what was really frightening, where I was, the bombers used to come over Wallasey through Liverpool, up over the coast and out to sea again. Well, I was right in line with the bombers going overhead out to sea after they dropped their bombs. So we'd look back to Liverpool and we'd see all these fires, and we'd see all these the lights going on. And then we'd think, good gracious, what has happened now? It was that type of night after night.
Remember that neighbor we had in Wallasey? She was a school teacher,
Miss Sylvie.
Miss Sylvie, and she used to use the shelter at times. And one night we caught her running to the shelter, and to protect herself from the bombs and the falling shell fragments, she had a colander on her head. The kind that you strain cabbage.
Wouldn't it be much help, would it?
No, it wouldn't have been much help.
Bob, you told a neat story about when the war was over and you were in Glasgow and Dick came home.
Oh, yeah.
And all the
Remember
celebration
that?
of the
That's
war.
wonderful.
Well, Dick came, I remember that, when he came home from the war,
Right,
from the POW camp.
right. We went down to the station to meet him.
Yes,
And then when we got back, they all had banners out,
yes.
welcome home, and, let's see, when did we pull the pianos out in the street?
No, I wasn't
That
there, I
was
was
one
down
DJ,
the
no, that was
BB,
15
Yeah,
euro day.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I still have Mother's telegram when Dick was released from the prison camp in Leipzig. She sent me just 3 words. Dick broke loose. That's all.
Isn't that a way to put it?
That's how I have it.
Yeah.
Did he escape though? And he wasn't let out, but he all broke out, didn't
I
they?
don't remember the details, but
I think what it was, Bob, the guards vanished. And
Oh,
they
I
came
see.
out of the camp and
Uh,
then the troops, whoever was nearby, got them. I think it was the Russians. Russian troops were the first on the scene in that area, Leipzig, you know, which is far
That's
to the
right,
east.
that's right, that's right.
but it's amazing when you think that we all came through.
Yes, it is remarkable.
Do you think the war brought you closer together or kind of tore you apart because you had to be separated?
I would say probably did both sides.
Yeah, that's a little bit both.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it was difficult being separated. The fabulous,
Yes.
Yeah, that was a problem,
Destroyed.
because I was gone from 11 or 12 until 16.
and when he came home, when he left, he couldn't play a note on the piano. And when he came home, he used to sit down and do arpeggios and play all kinds of things on the piano. Oh, incredible. He hadn't taken a single lesson, but somehow he picked it up. I never knew how you did that, Bob.
I didn't know that.
Incredible.
Where did you learn to play the piano, Dad?
Pardon me?
Where did you learn to play the piano?
Oh, something like Bob, I think.
It's incredible.
I think I inherited from Bob.
I seem to remember a story that one of you was entitled to piano lessons, but you would go in one door and you hated those piano lessons and walked out the other door.
No, that was cancer.
Was that you, Bob?
Well, Olive had a funny experience. She was supposed to go for piano lessons, and the teacher sent her home and said, "You're not the one to be taught," or something.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Olive can play. She can
A
play
little bit,
basic
very
chords.
little, yeah, very
Yes,
little. Yeah.
yes, I know.
Mum and Dad had as a principle 6 months for each of you. That's all we had. None of us had more than 6 months.
Olive didn't even have that.
Is
The
that
teacher
true,
sent her
Dick,
home.
too?
Yes,
never-
but he went on later on.
Yes.
Not straight away. Yes.
Dick is a wonderful pianist.
Yes.
Yeah, he went to a fellow in Wallasey.
Did he?
Yes, he
Somebody,
did.
yeah.
Yes, he did. That's
Yes,
true.
later on, yes.
That's true.
And he also
But in
went to
Peterborough,
church
it was
organist
just
in,
a few months.
yeah.
We went to, I remember them, the Skilchrist.
Yes, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, Ruth, honey, you're going to have to excuse me.